Hey guys, we are down here at the Washington Cup and it's a beautiful day. We had a little bit of rain this morning, but it turned out great. I'm down here with Richard, you said is the guy that put on the whole show. Richard, beautiful day. What are the cars? These are beautiful cars.
Well, this is the third year that we've held the show, and every year the show, we're trying to make it bigger and better and more interesting for people. Mm-hmm. So we have 7 classes of cars.
Yeah.
This year we featured race cars. Mm-hmm. So we were fortunate enough to get KTR Racing to come and bring the $50 million plus Ferrari GTO.
That thing is gorgeous. And I found out they still race that car.
Sandy McNeil still races the car actively, along with the Cobra that's next to it.
Right, and those are beautiful cars.
He bought that car, and again, it's not confirmed, but in the late 60s when Ferrari was getting rid of the cars, he bought it for $6,000 and drove it on the streets of New York as a regular car. It's registered to be driven on the road.
Right, wow, that's amazing.
So if you think back to the 60s till now, return on investment, I don't think there's a better investment.
Priceless, yeah, priceless.
One of 36.
One of 36, and he still uses it as it was intended.
He doesn't race it anymore, but she does.
Yeah.
KTR will transport it to wherever they're racing around the world, and they're still enjoying the car.
Jeez, that's amazing. And then the other one on the flip side, electric cars.
Yes.
You got a ton of electric cars, the new BMW out there.
Right. So we're also the Boston site for the end of National Plug-in Week.
Oh, okay.
So what we do is we encourage the electrics to come, old and new. Because if you remember back, the first cars were electric.
Right, yep.
And then steam, and then petroleum. So people forget that. They don't know that. They think Tesla, brand new. Well, it's been around forever.
It's been around forever, yeah. And then you get right in the middle of the common, you got just everything from European, American.
Right.
And I even saw a Russian car out here. That's the first time I've seen anything from Russia.
Right. What we try to do is find cars that no one's even heard of.
Which you have done, yes.
Right. And they're everywhere. So what we do is people approach us saying, I've got a Tatra, or I've got this. We did Made in Massachusetts yesterday. They had a Getz, a Mertz, a Putz. I mean, they've got all these crazy cars.
Everything, yeah.
In Massachusetts, believe it or not, there were more manufacturers than in Detroit around the turn of the century.
I think what was it? Massachusetts put out more cars than Detroit did for a couple of years.
Exactly, yeah. So what we try to do is it's a little bit of an education too for the public, and even for me. I'm always surprised about a car that I've never seen before.
Right.
I thought I knew it, and I thought I was a subject matter expert. I'm really not.
No.
There's no way.
And a lot of the people that bring these cars here, they want to come out and talk to you about these cars. I've gone up to a lot of them, and they tell you the history of what they've done to it.
There's a special breed of people who will get up at 4 in the morning, drive through the pouring rain, drive through the traffic, and bring a car here. Spend the whole day talking about their cars, wait for the award ceremony at 2 o'clock, and then drive home. And then what we try to do is ask them what they have different for next year, because we have no repeats.
Oh, okay.
So what we try to do is we have a totally fresh field every year, because some of the shows have the same cars year in and year out. I think it's unfair to the viewers.
Yeah, so next year this will be a totally different field.
I won't see a single repeat.
So it's worthwhile to come here and actually see what's here, because next year you're not going to get it.
The reason why this Rooney Tiger is out here is it was in the show before, but Emily is later giving out the Andy Rooney Preservation Award to honor her dad, who believed in keeping the cars original and driving them. And then Paul Russell is giving out the Restoration Award, because he's a big restoration shop. So we try to do different things to honor different people. But at 2 o'clock we'll have the award ceremony. Hopefully people will be happy. It's a low pressure show. It's judged by the owners.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. That's very cool.
So that's a little unusual, and there's less stress. So it's more of a beauty contest than actually a technically correct automobile.
So anybody that comes in with something that's just factory original, not even touched, could actually come home with an award.
Yeah, and it doesn't even need perfect paint. You know, they may have had it. There's a guy over here with a Corvette that he bought from new, he still owns. That's a candidate to win.
Oh, it's beautiful. And again, beautiful setup. I love being here on the Boston Common. And it's been the 3rd year, and hopefully we'll be back next year. Richard, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, what happened here is this is a Renault Vanderbilt racer. And Vanderbilt, who was a wealthy gentleman who wanted to get racing established in the United States, racing was mostly a European thing. And so he had commissioned Renault to build one of these, only slightly larger than this, higher horsepower. And he won his own race. The Vanderbilt Cup race went on to become a very prestigious race. He was so impressed with the car that he, not just he, but several people, commissioned Renault to build another 11. Some accounts say 16, but the Renault Museum says 11. And this, like I say, is chassis number 1 of those 11 cars. We have it here because we want to raise interest and funds to have this car restored. It needs to be brought up to its potential as a historical. If you look at it, you'll pick up modern bolts holding it together. It came to us, we're the Owlshead Transportation Museum. It came to us kind of in a broke down state. The fellow that was restoring it had passed away, and the family donated it to the museum, and we ended up quickly putting it together. But we're a museum that prides itself on running things. Yeah. So this car warrants a good restoration, which is hopefully what we'll look at. It's actually our most valuable car in our collection. We've got some goodies.
And this is all brass work.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the whole car.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the historical story on this car is really what does it.
I'm sure it's kind of hard to come by parts. Did you have to figure out a lot of fabrication, or?
Yeah, anything you get for this car, you're going to have to make. Which means
when
a
there's
lot of
only
research.
11 of them built,
Yeah, only
5
11
of them
built.
still left. Yeah.
And even though they look like a regular Renault running gear, whatever, everything's a little different dimensionally because it's a racer.
Yeah.
These would race, his big race was in Long Island, New York.
Okay. What kind of engine does this thing have?
It's got a 4-cylinder.
I'll open up the hood for you.
Yeah, please do.
Big 10-liter 4-cylinder. The original
A
car that
10-liter 4-cylinder.
the original car that inspired the 11 to be commissioned was a 14-liter 90
You can
horse.
prop
My goodness.
prop it up there. There's the support right over there.
Look at that. That's just beautiful.
And so this is a 10-liter 35-45 they call it. That was the horsepower range these produced.
And again, all brass and looks like copper.
Yeah, brass and copper for your intake piping and your water pipes.
It's beautiful. Car's beautiful, yeah.
That was Renault's trademark, the radiator behind the engine, even in their limousines and touring cars.
And no fans, so this car is designed to move.
Yeah.
You need the airflow, so no fans, so if you come to a stop, you're in trouble.
There's the money shot. Yeah. What is that? The money shot. Get a picture of
I
that
have no
shot.
idea. Thank you.
Martina. Whatever. So that's your fee.
It's an 09, as in 1909.
Yes,
1909,
1909, yeah. Not 2009.
What's the history of this car?
And they're cast out of aluminum.
I don't know how long that Richard has had it at the museum, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know it was built there by, of course, the company that made Corbin locks, and there are 6 known to exist still in the world. And in 2010, I trailered this down to Klingberg, down to New Britain, Connecticut, and we had 5 of them side by side.
Out of the 6.
5 of the 6.
Wow.
An 08, this 9, a 10, and 2 11s.
Wow.
4-cylinder. Cost $2,650, brand new.
Wow. So this was high end back in 1909. And the lights are the gas acetylene.
Acetylene, yeah.
Yeah.
Runs beautifully.
Yeah.
They've got it fixed now, so she starts up on the first crank.
Reliable. Is it a crank start or is it electric?
Crank start.
Okay, yeah.
Crank start.
And again with all the copper.
Oh yeah. Brass on the fan belt, brass mounting.
How long did Corbin make cars?
Well, we know that there was an 08,
Uh-huh.
a 9, a 10, and an 11. Now, whether they made them beyond that, I say that because I know that those are the ones that still exist.
Those are the ones that yeah.
Now, whether they, without looking up, I can't recall exactly whether they made them after that or not.
A lot of people know the Corbin company.
Yeah.
They made locks and hardware.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
word Corbin rings a bell.
That's how I'm like, I made cars too, okay.
Yeah. You think of them as being in the hardware.
But that happened in a lot of companies that made, whether it was typewriters or sewing machines or guns, bicycles, and later made automobiles.
This is the new thing. Everybody started making automobiles.
When
And
the war was over and you had armories, what were you going to do with them?
build some cars. Look at that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, what year is this?
1941.
Yeah. How long have you owned it?
It's been in the family for 60 years. We inherited it from my in-laws, George and Barbara Fisk out of Athol. And we've now had it ourselves for about 4 years. My son and I have been taking it to car shows for the last 10 years, 12 years.
Wow.
He's 16. He drove it in here this morning. He was thrilled.
Oh, wow, that's going to be a treat for a 16-year-old.
Well, he just got his license a couple months ago, and he can drive the standard. This has got 3 in the tree. You got a 1929 Model A Ford that's got 3 on the floor, and he can drive them both.
Yeah. 3 on a tree is a little different than.
Yep, it is. I'll show you inside.
Yeah, please do.
The floorboards. All floorboards of wood. You look up underneath here, it looks like an old town canoe.
That is amazing.
Jokingly, since my wife will never see this, we call that the wife's seat.
So the wife see that.
Exactly. So you're 800 bucks by the time you do it.
Even the dash, look at that.
Yeah, the dash is wood. It's been laminated.
Jeez.
The pieces are put together.
Yeah.
All the finger joints.
Yeah. Marianne did what she was told. It's been 8 years.
And it's craftsmanship. It's
Exactly.
it's woodworking
They couldn't
craftsmanship.
put out a lot of them because they had to work on them manually. Plymouth built fewer than Ford. And this was built in late 1940, and then early in 41 they shut down the factories because all of the metal had to be used for the war.
Wow.
The interesting thing, you notice, there's only one lock in the car.
Uh-huh.
And the story was back in the 40s, a gentleman would unlock the door for his date. And if the date had a good time, she'd reach over and unlock the door for the. Otherwise, he can't get in his car.
He stays out. How much I collect this door today?
This one, fully restored, is 1.5, 2.
That's great.